Hello, my name's Daniel, and today I'm going to share a method for increasing your profit when selling print that I developed while writing my book, The Power of Print. My name's Daniel Edwards. I joined the print industry back in 2002. I started my own business in 2006, Poster Boy Printing, and in 2022 I wrote my book, The Power of Print. So I've worked with customers like Billabong, Westfield and Carlton United Breweries. I've won multiple industry awards and I've been featured in print and marketing publications where I write about print. And I'm known for helping my customers to create print that people talk about. In the 20 odd years that I've been in print, I've noticed that there's two major problems that printers face. The first is competing on price. We're in this race to the bottom, trying to win jobs by having the lowest quote. Customers might come to us and say, I've got a quote here from another printer. If you can meet it or beat it, I'll give you the job. The problem with competing on price is that our ability to make a profit starts to go down. Every dollar that you take off your sale price is a dollar that you're taking off your profit. So competing on price, you're immediately cutting your ability to make a profit down. The other problem that we face is we're competing on time. Now, this is partly a response to competing on price. Rather than trying to compete on price, we try to compete on speed and how quickly we can supply our customers. It's also a result of print production technology getting faster and shortening those production times. And so we are in a place where we can compete on speed, and whoever has the newest machine and can print the fastest is starting to win the jobs because we're turning them around so fast. The problem with this is that it creates this constant state of emergency. Whenever there's any kind of delay in production, and there's so many reasons that there could be a delay in production, maybe the humidity's high and the ink's not drying, or you thought you had 100 sheets but you've only got 95, so you're in the car or your staff member's in the car off to the paper merchant in a big rush. There's all these reasons that there can be a delay, and there's no margin for error, and so we go straight into this state of emergency when there's any kind of delay because we're competing on time. And it's a horrible way to do business. It's a very stressful way to do business. How do we go from a place with low profit and low time, living on the edge of emergency, to high profit and high time, enough time to enjoy what we do? The simple answer is that we add value. Now, that sounds really easy. It's very easy to say add value. Everyone understands that people buy based on value, not based on price. And if you can present to a customer a more valuable proposition, then they're going to pay more. Right? We understand that. But how do you do that? How do you add value when you're selling print? So when I was writing this book, I wanted to understand what it was about great print that made it great. I started by reading industry reports, and then I looked at those industry reports references, and I went to the source, the scientific studies. And in the book there's 75 references, and I can tell you there's at least another 75 that I read that I didn't think were as strong, and then there's probably another 75 after that I didn't think were relevant. And soaking up this big body of work, from scientific studies to essays to industry reports, I distilled all this knowledge and I came up with this key that created a practical way to add value. So when a job comes through the door, and it lands on your desk, what do? What are the steps that you take where you can add value to what your customer's asking for? It's practical, it's repeatable, it's consistent, and it's a tool that you can use to create value. So to make the change, you need to first look at the things that you need to stop doing. So the first thing you need to stop doing is you need to stop selling a commodity. You need to stop selling cans of Coke, because why would I buy a can of Coke from you when the guy down the road can sell me the same can of Coke for slightly less? To do that, we need to stop being an order taker. When a customer asks us for a quote on X, we can't just give him a quote on X, because that's the other thing that we need to stop, which is quote and hope. Cost plus margin, and then we hope for the best, and we fight on price, or we fight on production times. That's what we're doing now, and that's what we need to stop doing. We need to start selling our expertise. We're no longer selling a commodity, we're no longer selling pieces of paper, We're selling our expertise about how to create powerful pieces of print marketing. And we do that by making suggestions about how they can change their piece to make it more effective. And then we provide a reason for why we've made that suggestion. We might give them a case study or an example, something that proves the case for our suggestion. That suggestion with the reason is our expertise. It's built from our experience and our knowledge of the medium, and it's how we open a dialogue with our customer, not about print for a price, but rather about how print can be great and how to make their print great and how to make it a powerful piece of print marketing. So if it's all about suggestions, where do these suggestions come from? And this is the meat of my book. This is the key that I talk about, the key to value, the systematic way to create value. What I call the 6 principles of print design. I go into depth in each of those throughout the book, but I'll give you a quick introduction to each of them now. Surprise. Every kind of print, there's an expectation of size, materials, delivery process. Identify what that is and then do something different. Value. Every piece of paper is on its way to the bin. Every piece of promotional print especially is on its way to the bin. So make it valuable to the end user, to the customer, so that they can't afford to throw it away. Make it precious to them. Experience. People are tactile creatures. We draw a lot of meaning through our skin, particularly through our hands and through the way that things feel. Everything that we touch creates a meaning to us. So think about the meaning that you're creating and make sure that it's in line with the message that your piece is trying to create. Connect. We live in a connected world. There are many ways to get in touch with customers. Print is very good at sending people to places, so make sure that your print is taking advantage of that and leveraging as many ways as possible to connect your end user with your customer. Preparation. There's an old saying in marketing that half of your marketing budget is wasted, you just don't know which half. So marketers love data, especially modern marketers. They love their click-through rates and their views and their impressions, but print doesn't give you any of that. Its battery's not included. Unless the customer sets that up, it's not there. So encourage your customers to prepare the rest of their business for the traffic that print will generate, but talk to them about it. Clarity. This is graphic design. Most graphic designs only have a few seconds to make an impression, so don't waste those precious moments with information that is not required. Understand the message that you're trying to send and only send that. If you're familiar with print, you've probably listened to those principles and you've thought, yeah, that sounds about right. There's probably nothing really new there for you. And that's right, that's perfect. I haven't invented print, I haven't reinvented print. I've just defined the different characteristics of print. And the way that the principles become a tool that you can use every day is use it as a way to organize your thinking. When a job comes in and you're being asked to quote on it, assess it through the lens of each principle in turn and look for suggestions that you can make that will improve its performance as a printed piece of communication. In most cases, you won't find a suggestion for every principle, and that's fine. You don't need to. You might only find one suggestion, but that's perfect. That's all you need. You only need one suggestion backed up with a reason that you then present to your customer, and that's the dialogue opening. That's you creating value. To put it all in context and how it works, imagine that a customer's come to you and they've given you a fairly standard request and you've assessed it then through the lens of the principles and you've found a suggestion that you can make that will improve its performance. And so you make that suggestion, you open the dialogue. So you give them the suggestion for the change, backed it up with a reason about why that will make it more effective, and that's it. That's value. That's the gold right there. The systematic way to approach assessing a print job. You can do it with any kind of print. It will just sharpen your print mind and how you're assessing jobs and how you're looking for ways that you can improve its performance as a printed piece of communication. And then you take that knowledge, or you take that expertise and that insight and you present it to your customer, and that's value. That's you adding value. That's you being more than just a machine operator, more than just a quote generator. As you start to use the principles to guide the way that you talk about print, you're going to find that you're navigating away from competing on price and competing on time, because you're no longer selling a commodity. You're now selling your expertise. These conversations that you have with the customer, the suggestions that you make, the reasons that you back them up with, this new value proposition that you're offering, you're going to find that people start to get excited about what they're doing. They want to do print, but they want to do it well. And for someone to actually give them ideas, give them suggestions, tell them why it's going to work, it's a very different experience for the customer, rather than just getting a price and then they're saying, oh, should I get this one because it's $100, or should I get this one because it's 120? They've got a slightly better website or whatever. They're trying to make choices based on things that don't really matter. But when you're offering your expertise and it's relevant and it's crafted, it makes sense to them, they're going to get excited to do work with you. And as they get excited, their willingness to pay is going to increase. It's not that you're ripping them off. It's not that you're tricking them into giving you more money. You're actually offering them something that is of greater value. And something of greater value is worth more. So your customers, you'll find they'll be prepared to pay more. And because now it's not something that they have to do, it's something that they want to do now, they're going to be prepared to wait for it as well. Those old two challenges of price and time are going to start to disappear and be less and less of an issue as you start to change the way that you talk to your customers. The reason that it works is because if you're a printer and you're working with print every day, and maybe you've worked with print every day, now you're an expert in print. You really are. Your printers are sitting on a mountain of value about the print medium, and we're just not often encouraged to share that. We might think that we're a printer, we're not a marketer, we're not a photographer, we're not a graphic designer, we're not a copywriter, we just print. But printers are more than just machine operators. And once you start working with print, you become very aware of it in the world around you. You start to notice it in a way that people who are out of print don't notice it. And the other reason that it works is because they're principles, not prescriptions. Every print job is different, and it needs to be approached in a unique way, and you need to look for unique ways to make it better. The principles are just a way to guide your thinking and to organize your thinking and help you access that knowledge that you've got in your head about print that will help you make the printed pieces better. And of course, the book is full of examples and case studies, and I read a ridiculous amount of studies to really try and condense as much as I can. So I encourage you to read the book just to broaden what you know about print and to help you with those justifications, because the suggestions are good, but they're not enough. What you really need is the suggestion and the justification. If you like the sound of that and you want to learn more, you can hop on my author website and order a copy from there, or you can order a copy of the book from Amazon. I've got the link just here. I'm also putting together an education package, and if you want to learn more about that, again, go to my author website and sign up for the newsletter, and I'll be posting information about that on there, and we'll probably follow you up from your contact details. Anyway, my name is Daniel Edwards, and I'm the author of The Power of Print. Thank you.